What? Check one, two. Check.
Hey, really cool people in the corner. Hey everyone, welcome to 1 Million Cups. And I'm gonna just go through really quick what we have here. This is not gonna fly today, so don't worry about well inside. It may fly outside, I don't know, right? We'll see. How many people have not been to 1 Million Cups before? Oh, we have lots of newbies. This is great. Okay, go through these slides. So 1 Million Cups was designed and by the Kauffman Foundation, and their whole mindset is that they want to work in communities to connect entrepreneurs with different resources of education and exposure, because they believe that education and entrepreneurship is the fabric of different communities. So that's kind of the mindset behind 1 Million Cups, and there's about 40 of them in the Southeast, about 250, I want to say, across the United States. And the mission here is just, like I said, is just lower that barrier of access for entrepreneurs to the different things within any community. Key pillars is a presentation and not a pitch. So it's not a sales pitch that you're going to hear. You're going to hear a presentation about the company. Authentic connections. It's not about just exchanging business cards, although that does happen, but it's really about helping each other grow. And as a community, how can we help the entrepreneur who's presenting? Run for the community, by the community, but I have to always give kudos to Amanda with the Cherokee Office of Economic Development, because she does the absolute lion's share of the work. And then it's just radically and intentionally inclusive, because we want to have all different parts of the entrepreneurial community represented in 1 Million Cups. So 1 Million Cups Cherokee began in 2018, and it represents the 5 cities within Cherokee County. And Woodstock is the one that we go to first, the first week of every month, and then the third week we go on a field trip somewhere. Always free coffee. There you go. What else do you need? And then, just like I said before, we're going to ask the question of what can we as a community do for the center. This is our organizing team. Amanda up there in the red, absolutely spearheading this, does ridiculous amount of work behind the scenes. These are our community sponsors, and so today we have a guest person helping. So Jared from Mesmerize is here doing the video and the live feed, so thank you for that. Bronson always helping us out with personalized technology services, and anything geeky, ask him. If not geeky to him, it makes absolute perfect sense. He's very, very brilliant, so any help there. We're very thankful for Circle of Friends for donating a coffee for us, and then the circuit, and many others. And today's presenter, we have something totally cool. Like, I'm really kind of excited to hear about this. Planted drone cleaning, and Chris is going to tell his whole story. And then at the end, there's going to be questions that he has for us as a community. And so please be thinking about those as we go through, so that you can provide that feedback for him at the end.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. It's my first time here, actually, so it's an honor. Thank you for hosting this event and all the effort that goes on behind it. Our business is very unique, as you can probably see. What do I do? Yeah, there we are. Okay, so our story is nothing crazy. It's pretty simple, actually. From a mix of things, I started a previous business, and I still have it going. I don't do as much with it anymore, because this one takes a lot of focus. However, I did a lot of insurance inspections and video with my other drone business, and I saw a lot of dirty buildings and a lot of dirty roofs and doing all those jobs. And so I thought, there's got to be a drone or some sort of piece of machinery or technology that can safely clean and change the game clean these buildings and just add a service to my existing business. Saw the drone, inquired, they got back to me super fast. The manufacturer is based in Charlotte, so it's not a far drive. Scheduled a meeting with them, went up and saw the drone in person. And when I saw it fly for the first time, I was like a little kid on Christmas. It was just the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I just knew I had to have it. I knew for a number of reasons I wanted to have it to try and change my life financially and set my own goals and my own destiny. And that's kind of where all the thought process began with that. Like I said, I just thought it was cool, to be honest. So I wanted to get it. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. No clue. I thought I was going to be hooking up a hose, going up and cleaning the building to be done in 20, 30 minutes. No. My business partner, Scott, he has been cleaning for years on the side, just serving the community where he lives, cleaning driveways and small jobs here and there for friends and family, never charging any money. And cleaned a house for one of his friends who introduced me to him. So now we do business together. It's been very great so far, so I can't complain there. Why do we do this though? There's a lot of reasons behind it. I'll dive into the main ones. We do not like heights. We don't like climbing ladders. We don't like getting on roofs. We don't like being 150, 170 feet up in the air. We don't want to rely on old traditional ways with invasive equipment that can destroy landscaping, potentially destroy the building or windows or whatever. The drone can crash, the drone can fail, but you can easily replace one of these propeller motors or anything on here more easily than you can replace a limb on someone's body, right? So when that does happen, the manufacturer sends it back to them, they send us a replacement, when they fix it, and it's fixed. Simple as that. Drone technology alleviates all the problems that traditional power wash companies face. What does that mean? A lot of power washers might struggle to reach a tall place on a building. They can only shoot so far from the ground before getting on a ladder or climbing the building. And that's either involved by bringing on lifts, rappelling from the top, or building scaffolding, which is all very expensive and very outdated in my opinion. If you have the right equipment and the right tools, you can do any job. And this tool helps us do a lot of jobs. And it's just the future of building maintenance. As more companies produce these drones, it can become more available for other power washers and hopefully change their lives too, that's mine. Honestly, we do love cleaning. I worked in kitchens for a long time, and part of my therapy in kitchens was to just go be away from my employees and clean a part that they couldn't find me in. And now we're cleaning buildings and restoring them back to, as close to natural state as we can. So we really do enjoy that. What are the customer problems we see? The ones that we're solving, safety, efficiency, and cost. So with all that equipment I listed, scaffolding, the ladders, and everything, that's all very expensive. To set it up, to take it down. Between those two, the man hours are probably more than what we spend on site in total. So I've done several commercial projects and calculated how long it takes me and one person on the ground to safely and efficiently clean the building. It takes about half the time than a traditional crew with 2 to 4 men and all that equipment. So it really does save a lot of time, and it saves costs for our clients in the end because we don't have to charge for all that extra stuff. The opportunity gap we're closing, change the lives of small business owners such as myself and anyone else. There's about 30 of these machines, and they're all located within a fair proximity to Lucid, so they can support them and fix the machines as they need to and update them. So they're a very customer-based company, and we're very loyal to them. So they produce a high-quality machine and they keep improving it. It's very good to have that support from them. The market opportunity from residential, commercial, and industrial aspects, there are so many buildings that need to be cleaned in a limited time to do so in each part of the country. For here, we have about 9 months of good weather to clean roofs, commercial buildings such as hotels, and industrial projects such as oil and gas industry. And we are in all those industries currently. The solution we are providing, this drone is more than capable of flying 40 feet at 15 minutes or 170 feet for 8 minutes. There's limitations due to technology, such as batteries, weight, length of hose, etc. There's a number of challenges that we run across, but there has not been one that I've not been able to surpass and just prove that this machine and technology can do it. How are we uniquely positioned to provide that solution? There's not much competition in the area that is doing what we're doing, if any, that I know of. Like I said, there are multiple customers across different states, so we do collaborate from time to time and share our knowledge and our opinions and our successes and our downfalls. And just, I believe in collaboration over competition in this industry, since it is a pioneering technology. There's no book, there's no one to ask, hey, how did you clean that building last year? Oh, okay, cool, no one did it. So we have to kind of figure out as we go, and it's a big challenge. How are we solving it? By, like I said, pushing the limits of technology to see what it's really capable of. We have flown 170 feet to clean a structure in the oil and gas industry. We have cleaned plenty of roofs residentially and plenty of commercial buildings such as shopping malls, apartments, and hotels. Now, with that, commercial industries provide a higher challenge because they have larger buildings, they have larger budgets. However, if you can come in and solve their problem of cost, which we're solving by offering, literally, we're charging a fraction of the price that they normally charge. And we can get their business over and over is how we're basing our model. So basically, we document our results, we track our battery health, we track our motor health, we track everything on a day-to-day basis and see how well it performs and how long it lasts. Because we are spraying a chemical called sodium hypochlorite, which is corrosive, and it's basically a fancy word for bleach. With that, it does get on motors, it gets on batteries, it gets everywhere. And I smell them today, and my girlfriend loves it, so. The customer. Who is our target customer? Well, in the beginning, like I said, I had no idea what I was doing, so I was offering family and friends, cleaning their houses, their roofs, anything I could do to learn at a fair, affordable price. And now, after about a year, we have really found our niche in commercial applications, and we still do roofs and hard-to-reach places on commercial properties, but we do everything still. The main focus is with the drone. If we're not flying the drone, we're not making money. Basically, that's how we see it. What market are we reaching? We have a healthy mix of residential, commercial, and industrial. Like I said, we're getting into a lot of different industries really fast. And we have an avatar. I wasn't sure how to answer this, so I thought the story of the CEO of the manufacturing company. He is in his mid-20s, very young, very bright, very hard worker, very motivated, determined. Had this crazy idea in college. And he made it to fruition by assembling a drone, and it was about 80% duct tape. I'm not making this up. It was about composed of 80% duct tape. It had the basic features of a drone you see here. It had a nozzle, none of this fancy equipment in here. You could lift a hose, and it had GPS, and that was about it. He would put it in the back of his rust bucket Corolla, he said, drive around the jobs, and just try and get the idea in front of people. He did that enough, and he found the right people to invest, and now we have 17 full-time employees on staff with multiple machines out, and they're constantly improving this each and every day. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to Lawrenceville to meet them and exchange it for an upgraded model. So that just proves how loyal and dedicated they are to their customers. Asking from the community, we want to ask you questions when you're out and about on your daily lives and business. When you see buildings that are dirty, do you think it's just the way things are? Do you think anything can be done about it? When we see black streaks on a roof, how do you clean that? Do you have a solution? When you see mold and stuff on a building, do you think about it twice? Do you think about, is that going into the air ducts? Is that affecting air quality around the building? Most certainly is. Is that eating the paint? Is that eating the mortar? It's actually deteriorating the building very slowly. It's deteriorating the shingles. It makes driveways and cart paths extremely dangerous. If you've ever driven on a steep concrete path that's black, that's mold, that's algae. That's very slippery, especially when it gets wet. So to clean that properly, you need the right chemicals, you need the right tools to safely do it, and so it remains clean for longer and preserves whatever that mold and stuff is eating. Because it's organic and it is eating away at whatever it touches. So to eliminate that, we use that chemical that I mentioned, bleach, which basically burns off organic matter or kills it, for lack of a better term. Specific challenges, obstacles. Educating the client or the customer has been, we have found to be the best way around it. When someone asks, how does a drone work? I pull out my phone and show them a video. I don't try and sit there and explain and paint a picture for them. They have no idea what it even looks like. Most people imagine a smaller drone the size of this battery right here that's lifting the hose and cleaning the roof. So educating our customers and the community, everyone around us, and other power washers, because a lot of guys are very old school, they don't believe in this, they think it's going to take their jobs, and drones are going to rule the world. Well, they work, so get used to it. Specific challenges, I mean, the price to get into this business, this drone specifically, is very high. To obtain a proper ROI, you need to really know how to run your business. You need to know the commercial contracts and the nuances. You need to follow FAA rules and guidelines. You need a Part 107 drone pilot license, a lot of things. And taking care of this drone is priority each day. Feedback solution score. I thought about a few questions. Mainly, if anyone has any thoughts about power washing, or if anybody knows the difference between what pressure washing, power washing, and soft washing is. And if anybody wants to connect with us, we're mainly on Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to reach out, email, or my phone number. You can call or text anytime. Thank you.
Now we're going to leave it up for them to talk to you. So that's your Did you have that? Okay.
So, Chris, how many batteries are there in the drone?
8 sets of 16 batteries in total, and they're $400.
All right, so basically, you said you're going 170 feet, your runtime is 8 minutes.
At 170 feet, 8 minutes, just because due to the weight of the hose.
And water and liquid.
Okay. 170 feet is the highest I feel comfortable flying, and also not to mention, no one's ever done it, so no one really knows the data on it. Like I said, we're pioneering a lot of things, and that's one of them. The batteries are the biggest setback, though, in my opinion. That's just the way the technology is at this point. And I know there are companies like Lucid, another one, developing a ground-based power source, which will allow you to fly indefinitely. However, flying for, if you think flying this is easy, for an hour straight, you are completely wrong. Looking up, controlling.
That actually makes amazing sense, because you have a hose, you're already running it up with water in it from the ground, and having a power cord with it doesn't sound too difficult. I'm trying to understand the business model, that's why I'm asking questions. So let's say you do a job, your flight time is 10 minutes, but as you build up a drone, that 10 minutes isn't all spent working. You have to get the drone up slowly, get in position, and do the work, and then land it. So like a drone job in 10 minutes, you're getting like 7 minutes actual projection time cleaning the roof.
So normal flight time ranges anywhere between 13 and 15 minutes. That's on between 30 and 60 feet. Nothing too crazy, nothing too high. The drone can handle it, it's very strong. It's got about 400 pounds of thrust. So with that, on a 13-minute flight, for example, say I'm going 40 feet, I might get in position, it might take 15 seconds, and it might take 15 seconds to land depending on where I'm at. And I always have a backup landing spot to be very safe in case anything happens. So with that, I probably have about 12 minutes of actual work time when I have a 13-minute flight, and it just increases as the lower I fly.
How much does it go for?
That is the number one question all the time. And also, can I fly it? No, you can't. How much do you make per week? Okay. Save up for about 40 years, you might be able to get one. That cost is $36,000 for the drone, the batteries, the controller. Then you need proper insurance, you need the proper pilots, you need maintenance, you have to think about chemicals, your setup, what does it connect to, how do you take care of the batteries? There's a million things I can talk about. And the truck and the trailer that I have out there, yeah.
I'll ask you a follow-up question to Stella in terms of how you price the service. But one thing I wanted to hit on is you talk about how you charge a fraction of the cost, but are you marginalizing the benefit that the company is getting? Is it too fractional of it? Are we talking 30%, 20% less? Because if you're talking that you're half the price, then you're probably undervaluing your value to them. Much less the speed, the safety. It goes all along with the OSHA compliance and all the forms that you got to fill out for them to even pay you at the end of the day. So think about just what the value is in terms of how much less you're willing to accept, and if they're true and transparent with you on what they're actually charging, then you probably don't have to cut your price nearly as much for the difficulty of it. Second of that is, have you thought about any partnerships with larger traditional pressure washers here in the North Georgia area that have ran into instances where they just don't want to rent the scaffolding, the boom lifts and stuff, and where they could easily sub out to you, get a lick off the cone, and maybe create more of a business development relationship there?
So those are all great questions. First, if it goes, pricing is determined by what kind of job we're on. Mainly, every job is different. Whether it's a house or a commercial building, they're all different. Different in terms of we think about how much chemical we're going to use, how much time. Do I need an extra guy on the ground to help? If so, how long is it going to take? And we can now look at a job, measure it a little bit, and determine all those factors. Since we own the drone outright, we don't own anything on it, and it's a great tool in our arsenal now. We just have to kind of focus on getting more of an ROI. There's not much overhead when it comes to our industry, to be honest. We have our insurance, like I said, I got to get paid. Truck maintenance, drone maintenance doesn't cost that much. The chemicals are pretty inexpensive as well. So anywhere between, you can look at most companies, and anywhere between 10 cents a square foot to 30 cents a square foot, just depending on whether it's residential or a giant commercial building. They all have different expectations for what you can price. It doesn't mean a larger house is necessarily going to generate more money than a house with a 2 bedrooms less kind of thing. So it's kind of weird how it works, but that's how it is. And then you asked about the partnerships. Partnerships, so speaking with other power washing companies is something I truly believe in, like collaboration. I really believe this is the future of how guys really should approach their business when it comes to this stuff, because purchasing the scaffolding, purchasing the ladders, the lifts, you have to either get it there or you have to wait for it to get there on site. It costs money unless you own it. And if you're a one-man show, then you probably don't own a lot of that equipment. So you have to set it up, and it probably takes a day to set up and a day to break down. Whereas I can arrive on site in as quickly as 5 to 10 minutes, I can be flying and spraying and cleaning up to 170 feet. It's that simple. It's no brainer. So partnering with other power washing companies is something I really believe in, and we're actually in the midst of partnering with, I think, another one. So there'll probably be 3 companies, larger commercial power washing companies that we partner with. We offer our services to anybody too. Hey, if you need help, man, for a day, please let me know. I'm not here to get you. I'm not here to take more off of your margin. Our margins are, very healthy, like I said, and allows us to make a good profit without undervaluing our service. Another thing is educating folks. We recently completed a huge project that they did not believe we could do. They actually had bets against us because they have like a drone. No way, you're crazy. Well, we proved them wrong, and we got a lot more business out of it. So we think coming in at a very fair price that they can obtain and afford to pay every year from a maintenance standpoint as opposed to a budget standpoint, we believe is going to really just win us over more contracts and make us stand out. And then once we get more of these drones, we'll be able to do jobs in a blink of an eye. Do you have another question? Last one.
I'll let it.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Oh, let me ask you, John Henfield works with the pressure washing. Is that one of the companies you're hooked up with?
No.
Okay. Let me look at that.
Tell me about soft washing. And do you use 2 drones at once, one at a time?
So soft washing is a process that has been around, I'm not sure how long, but it's not super long, not as long as pressure washing. So I don't think many people take a shower without using soap. And if you do, cool, more power to you. I don't think many people wash a car without using soap. What I'm getting at is you don't wash buildings without using some sort of chemical or soap. It's just, it's kind of silly. You know, you're gonna take high pressure water, cold, and clean a building. How does that work? You're not doing anything. The organic matter, mold and algae thrive off of moist and wet environments. Food, cool, great, this guy is helping me out, give me a shower. So what we need to do is use chemicals like we do. So we use chemicals mixed with low pressure. It's not going to damage water. It's not going to damage stone. It's not going to damage roof. It's 200 PSI, maybe 300 on a crazy day. We're feeling good. And so you mix all that together in our tanks, water, soap, and bleach, mainly is what we use for 99% of our jobs. And that cleans just about anything. It's, if you ever get bleach on your skin, it burns, right? So we use a term shooting hot, or like a flamethrower or hot sauce kind of thing. So we're gonna shoot hot sauce on this building because it's bad or whatever, we're gonna melt it. And that's basically all we're doing. It just reacts to the chemical organic matter and it acts as an oxidizer, so it removes the oxygen from that. And with that, you also get very careful on metal. You can oxidize metal or paint if you're not properly using it. Hope I answered your question. Oh, we have used 2 drones at once before by collaborating with other guys. This previous project we did, we had 2 drones on site for a few hours because the manufacturer wanted to come down and see how we were achieving 170 feet flight and how long and what they could do to improve it.
So who are your majority of your clients right now? And how do you get new clients?
Majority of clients are residential. We get passed to from previous clients, so we get a lot of referrals once we do a good job. And I think our work just shows for itself. I'd like to say that. Also, by working smarter, not harder. A lot of people like the idea of the drone, because it's not climbing the roof, it's not touching their building. It has no possibility, unless this thing crashes or falls out of the sky, which is an extremely low chance. And in that case, we have a very high amount of insurance. So the way we're acquiring customers is mainly referrals and a little bit of advertising here and there, using our networks, leveraging social media and stuff like that. And then we're looking at acquiring more commercial clients and kind of refocus what we got in this business for was to acquire commercial clients. So with that, again, referrals from previous commercial jobs, we use those as references, and we're just now starting to cold call, to be honest.
My question is, if you had enough experience to get involved with repeat business, same customer, short period of time, and when you mentioned contracts, do you include something like that in your contract?
So I've only been in this industry for about a year now. And when I first started, I was very hesitant to do any marketing, anything like that. So therefore, I was just really trying to feel it out, see if it was for me. And to answer your question, I actually had my first call from one of my first clients from last year reach out again and want some stuff done again. So I think I did something right. Either charging not a good price or I did good work. Either way, it's kind of cool to see people call me back and people that I've done work for in the past get good references and just throw a name out there because they believe in what we're doing. As far as contracts go, we're working on our first one that is gonna be aimed at a preventive maintenance standpoint, so they don't have to budget for it. So they just know every year it's gonna get done. It's gonna be the same price. Man-hour stuff like that might fluctuate, inflation, and chemicals might, adjust with inflation, gas, of course. So, but as far as contracts go, that's something new, I guess we're working on to acquire.
I have a question up here.
So 2 questions. The first, so say I want you to come and spray my house. And then, so do you also have traditional services on top? So, hey, you've done the house, you've done the roof, but I'd also like the driveway done. Are you able to do that? Or do you have, again, is that partnership where you say we can get traditional pressure washers to come out? And then the other question is, what can you use the technology for moving forward? Could you fit that to say, I want to paint the exterior of my house so we can pressure wash it? Then, could you do it for a paint sprayer so that you can do that sort of work as well? Kind of where do you see yourself expanding beyond just the washing using the technology?
First part of your question, yes, we do offer traditional services. We have 2 trucks, 2 trailers, both equipped a little different. Our primary thing we advertise is soft washing. I clean so many things, just soft washing a building. You'll be amazed what this chemical does, but it can also damage a lot of stuff too. So yes, we can clean your vinyl siding. Yes, we can clean your windows. Yes, we can clean your driveway. Yes, we can clean anything on your house or your commercial property. We're not afraid to do it. And we've done so a bunch of times. Metal roofs, asphalt shingle roofs, slate roofs, any kind of roof, any kind of siding we've done. And I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
Where else you're going with the technology? Is it paint spraying? Is it whatever?
So where else is the technology going? That's a question I can talk about all day, so I'm going to try and think about an answer that is simple for you guys. This company is creating a turnkey solution for this industry specifically, which means now this drone can handle soft washing and pressure washing. I've seen this drone handle 1,500 PSI when I was de-icing a roof in Colorado at higher elevation, and I've also seen it handle 170 feet, like I mentioned several times. So it's very versatile, it's awesome. It's not quite to the point of spraying paints yet, unfortunately. There is another company that has a tethered power source, which they are developing a painting drone, and they're targeting specifically the oil and gas and industrial industries. So the other company is kind of like the Ferrari of these drones. They're very expensive, they're very big. I think this one's big. They have one twice the size of this. It's just insane. Anyways, they're doing non-destructive testing, they're doing coating readings, they're doing pressure washing at 3,000 PSI for steel so they can blast off corrosive pieces of metal on industrial and commercial projects. So the applications do go beyond power washing. I get asked all the time, like clean gutters. Not yet. That's something I think will definitely change the game, because if we can figure out maybe a smaller drone, higher pressure, something to get in there and clean gutters, or to paint a building precisely, it's a huge challenge, because if you miss your target because of the wind or you're not close enough, then you're wasting a lot of product and you're creating a mess. Who knows elsewhere, because the wind at 100 feet is unpredictable. Yeah, exactly. Now you have to go clean that area. So anyways, that's being developed. And there's FAA that is kind of watching what we're doing, but kind of not. And I'll finish that question by saying the FAA has not updated any rules or regulations since the 60s. So they're just kind of willy-nilly, like, oh yeah, you're not doing anything crazy yet. So we just kind of have to be a little subtle, I guess.
I'm going to ask a question about talent. You said you have to be able to have a pilot license for this, a specific license. Do you have a kind of a place of funnels coming from for people who could come in and do what you're doing? Like help you?
So the Part 107 drone license is nothing crazy. It's nothing difficult to get. 99.98% of people pass the test. If you don't pass it, you're going back. I mean, even Bronson has one, so it goes to show. I'm just kidding. He's the only one I can think on, all right? Jared's got one too, yeah. Good. They're not hard to get. There are other waivers that you are supposed to get for other jobs, just agriculture. They do require what's called Part 137. If you're spraying insecticide or pesticide out of the drone, you do need that. Because that, again, was written in the 60s for crop dusting planes, which are kind of becoming a thing of the past, slowly but surely, once these things take over and farmers get used to the idea of something automated taking care of their crops. As far as a pilot network, finding someone that will really understand how this thing works safely and can pilot it and can take care of it is going to be the biggest problem as we scale our business. I wouldn't say problem, but challenge, because there are pilots, such as Bronson, that I would trust to train, Jared to train, there's pilots that I would trust out there. It's not a hobbyist sport, it's a full-time, you have to be very dedicated to it, to understand it, get to know its capabilities and how it flies.
I don't really have a question, but I do have a comment. I'm a very happy customer of Chris's. He did our home. And I can say the most impressive thing wasn't even just the outcome of the product, but it was more that the care that he took, the time that he took. If there was a challenge, he overcame it before he left site. He spent days with us, and it was in the very beginning, but the product was amazing, but the care that he gave and making sure that everything was taken care of on the ground and there was no chemical issue was more than I could even say. So I would definitely recommend the service.
Yeah, you came and did part of my office complex, didn't you? Yeah, so also another compliment, that very, very precise care, very careful with the drone, the parking lot of cars, the people. You'll let people come about 6 inches from the drone, it's fine. The question on the pressure washing reviews going with, so I see that you get tagged a lot on Facebook for pressure washing. Your focus is clearly drone power washing, but if there's a pressure washing job, to me they might be connected. Like to get in the door, the normal pressure washing job could open the door for power washing. But are you wanting to kind of be a person that's pressure washing normal, an actual pressure washer on the ground, or is your niche just it's not drones, you're not going for it? Like, what is your take on all that?
So to kind of answer his question again in tandem with yours. Yeah. So we do all that. Yeah, so I'll soft wash a building, whether it's 10 feet or 30 feet is how far my pump can shoots while standing on the ground. And that's when the drone comes into play, is for the harder reach spots, stuff like that. I don't use it for every single job. There's no way. It takes too much time to unload, pack up, plug batteries in, and all that stuff. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. It just makes sense to just unreel my hose and start cleaning away, whether it's a driveway or building. We soft wash. So there's a difference actually between the three. Pressure washing, high pressure, little to zero chemical, can damage a lot of stuff. If used improperly, it can even take off a limb. Power washing is technically using kind of a mid-range of pressure, 1500 to 1000 psi, and hot water, anywhere from 200 to 300 degrees plus, or steam to remove gum or very tough stains. And there's other specialty chemicals to do so anyway, so you can use soft washing. You don't need heats for a lot of that stuff anymore, actually. And then soft washing is what I explained. Chemicals, low pressure, very safe for literally every single thing as long as we take the right precautions. They can all be damaging in their own ways, and we do provide multiple services. However, our niche, I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning. I was just, oh yeah, I'll clean that, bring out your dog, I'll clean that too. And now the niche is to really scale it on a commercial level, because that's where this thing shines. I Cannot tell you how many times I've taken this thing out, flew for 5 minutes, landed it, flew for another 5 minutes on the same house. It's just, it takes a lot of time, and I'd rather not. I'd rather take it out and fly for 6 hours, and that's where it really produces the high value for us. Yeah, we'll do it, and we'll charge more for certain jobs on residential, especially because we know our value is there. We're going to be a lot safer, and we're going to be a lot faster. But to also answer this question again, my vision for how this is going to evolve for, let's say, a parking lot or a large surface area like a large sidewalk, there are systems that we can rig to have this have nozzles that are spraying downward and applying pressure. So the future is going to be, have a nozzle that can spray down, and it's a more modular fit, so we can exchange them out in a reasonable time, 10 to 20 minutes, and be flying. Or another drone that can specifically fulfill that purpose is what we're kind of going to niche for, is just drone everything. Our idea is to get away from the traditional nuances and rely on technology.
I think this is our last question.
So in quick review of the website, I think maybe I missed it, but a 30, 60-second explainer video, I think would go huge, because then you can push that all over social media as well and make it more consumable. It sounds like you've heard that before. So second to that is, don't be afraid to provide even commercial clients a range of pricing based on the complexity. So don't give them a firm and final, and having dealt enough with that, give them an acceptable range, because you don't know when you're going to run into something that maybe you didn't catch within the estimation. Two organizations that I would highly suggest investing time into business development are BOMA, Building Owners and Managers Association, and then IFMA, International Facilities Management Association. So those are your commercial property giants, huge Atlanta presence as well, and basically focusing on the facilities managers, or even in the local Cherokee area. Look at from a business development standpoint, some of these places are not going to have a facilities manager. It's going to start with HR. So I call into HR and then figure out who's going to manage the facility from there.
Well, you get to go to lunch with him afterwards and ask all your questions. It's his treat, he said so. And I heard you're going to have a conversation with Jared about video. Is that true? Okay. I'm just teasing you guys. Okay. Hey, everyone, give a round of applause for Chris. And we're just going to close up, and then Chris, you'll be around for a little bit for people to ask questions. Oh, sure. Yes, there he is. Stella's laughing at her dad. Okay, for those people who have not presented at 1 Million Cups before, please come. This wasn't hard, was it, Chris? This is fun, right? Yeah. Okay, good. That was a leading question. I know that. And just, we would love to have you talk with Amanda afterwards, and then she will get you on the schedule. And there's also a process to apply online at 1 Million Cups /Cherokee. And Stone is here. One of the gifts that he gives to the people who are presenting is a conversation with him on Business X Radio. So feel free to chat with Stone. He's a great conversationalist. And his wife makes really good biscuits. This is a side note there. For a Yankee, right? Is that good biscuits for Yankee? Okay. Follow us at Fresh Start Cherokee on all of the social media. And then next up is June 15th. Stay tuned for who that will be, and that will come out on social media. But for those of you who have not presented yet, please, please, please just chat with Amanda, because it's a great process. So thank you guys, and go drink a bunch of, oh wait, sorry, I have to give stuff away. How's that, right? Trivia, you get stuff free. You don't even have to answer any of the questions. Who was our last 1MC presenter? Oh, okay, what did you do? Okay. You win. Okay, who can name the 2 auto manufacturers announced just 5 months apart that will construct plants in Georgia? Okay, Hyundai, yes. Here you go. Winner, winner. What about the other ones? Oh, show off. Okay, and then, it's the last one we have, right? Okay. What is the City of Woodstock's newly released downtown project called? Good job! And if you guys haven't seen the renderings for that, it's amazing. So that will be really exciting. So now, go have 1,000,000 cups of iced coffee. Okay? I don't know how many iced cups of coffee we drink a year in America, but go have a great week and thank you all very much.